Well, I want to talk about this too. This is the other thing I wanted to bring up. We've mentioned all of the things that Biden could do via executive order and just via like stuff he can just start doing on day one. Here's what he really wants to do. Biden lifts his healthcare plan from insurance lobbyists. I mean, there were some grumblings that Joe Biden was going to, or not necessarily Biden, but like the people around him were going to try to force an emergency universal healthcare plan for the pandemic, like a healthcare plan for the pandemic. And the reason that is so significant, or would have been so significant, is not only because obviously it gives healthcare to everyone during a pandemic, but also because once that would be in place, it'd be very hard for them to take it away. Ask all the countries with universal healthcare, which are, by the way, pretty much every other industrialized country except for us. Once you get it, they can't really take it away. So it would have been very plausible that if we got some kind of emergency universal healthcare system, they wouldn't have been able to take it away. Even if they told us it was temporary, we would have been able to fight for that thing and to keep it. But that's why that's not what Biden's looking to do. Here is what he's looking to do. He's looking to give the type of healthcare plan that insurance lobbyists drafted up for him. And by the way, here's what it does. His new COVID relief plan does not adopt existing Democratic legislation to expand medical coverage, nor does it propose a promised public health insurance option. So that public option, it doesn't even do that. Instead, it adopts proposals from health insurance lobbyist groups. And what does it do is it just gives the insurance companies a bunch of money to provide subsidies to Americans. Basically, it's the Affordable Care Act. It's the Affordable Care Act with a little more money pumped into it, which, by the way, has failed because they just keep pumping up the prices. It varies who qualifies for subsidies and who doesn't. So healthcare is still unaffordable, or you have some bogus plan where your deductible is so freaking outrageous, you might as well not have anything anyway. So they're just allowing that to continue. That's Biden's healthcare plan. Give the insurance companies more money.
Of course. And this is like the fact that we can't have Medicare for all, free healthcare in the middle of a pandemic, and all those Western countries, in Western Europe and all those industrialized nations that have it. It's not a coincidence too that all of those countries were able to give their citizens like 80 to 90% of their paychecks. So no one's behind on rent in any of those countries that have had healthcare for 70 years. And one of the reasons we have all this division in this country is because people couldn't work. The government gave them nothing, little to nothing. Some people got unemployment that they were able to live on, but a lot of people couldn't. And small business owners got loans. And that's why people were like, the hell with this. We got to go back. We got to open the country up. I mean, I think it was dangerous and not good for COVID, and the COVID numbers prove that. But I understand somebody like financially so desperate that they're like, I want to open this up. And so in all these countries where people were taken care of by their government, many of them evil socialist countries, they had no anti-mask protests. They had no people fighting in stores about wearing them. And they didn't have any of that because people were taken care of financially. So, right. I mean, Biden's talking about rent forgiveness in this $2 trillion stimulus plan. AOC's like, oh, it's not enough. All right. I mean, whatever, man. Pressure the hell out of these people because the Democrats have no excuses anymore. None. I don't want to hear it. So you better demand free health. We need free health care. No ifs, ands, or buts. Don't take table scraps. Don't take incrementals. Well, we'll get, and now how are you going to pay for it? The same way we pay for all the wars. Next question.
Yeah, no kidding. Question. I mean, yeah, just shut that down right away.
Yeah.
Just shut that down right away. And, this healthcare plan here, this healthcare plan that he's going after now, that the insurance industry literally wrote, this is a page out of Paul Ryan's playbook. This is a page out of, well, we just need to give these for-profit entities more money, and that'll fix everything. No, that makes it worse. You're feeding the parasites. The parasites are eating the house. You want to save the house, and your solution is to make the parasites more powerful. And that's what you're doing. Mm-hmm. That's what you're doing. And Joe Biden knows what he's doing. So.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's no excuses. I mean, literally, And if people out there are afraid to hold official, politicians that they voted for accountable, those are the people you should be holding more accountable, because you voted for them, I'm assuming, because they said they were going to do things that you want and need. And we need free healthcare. We need rent forgiveness, not a stay of execution, not a no eviction pay. Because part of the equation in the rent problem is not all landlords are evil rich people. Most landlords are just small business owners. That own a piece of property. They own a house that they rent, or they own a little apartment complex, and they're not billionaires. They're not even millionaires. They're just like, and they're dependent upon that rent. So giving people money to pay off their back rent makes everybody whole, because the landlord more than likely has a big mortgage on that piece of rental property that they've got to pay. And if half of the building can't pay rent and is behind 6, 9, 10 months on rent, they're in trouble. And sure, they've called, many of them, I'm sure, have called their banks and said, hey, give me a forbearance. And we got to hold off on this right now, but it's still a short-term fix. It's not a long-term solution. So the federal government has the money. I don't want to hear it. We can give $4.25 trillion was given to big companies and banks and Wall Street in the first CARES Act. So I just don't want to hear it. And I don't want to hear people defending Joe Biden, who wrote the 94 crime bill, who stood up for eulogized a segregationist, who, I don't know, Tara Reade. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear these Me Too people tell me believe all women except Tara Reade. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear your hypocritical bullshit anymore. It's done. Trump's gone. Shut the fuck up. And if you don't hold these people accountable, you're part of the problem.
Well, I'm sorry you won't be invited to any brunches, Graham.
Oh, no. It's such a bummer listening to a bunch of, up 6 and 7 figure, Hollywood blue check liberals who think they're so woke, showing up to brunch, not giving a damn about $15 an hour minimum wage or working class people or anything like that, because they've been privileged. Yeah, what a bummer hanging out with those shit heels.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and